you go. That was Kylie Minogue with Give Me a Little More Time, which is quite delightful. And we don't need any more time because right now I have in our beautiful Rotary studio Don Amos. And Don, welcome. Welcome to FM 105 FM. Goodness me.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I don't think you've been in our studios before, have you?
No, and it's a nice flash studio.
It is a lovely one, yeah. Welcome. Don, you know, I'm just asking the question to everyone out there. Have you ever considered volunteering? And volunteering doesn't only help build stronger, more connected and caring communities. It develops individuals. And I think you can attest to that, Don.
Oh, exactly. And the reason I have considered volunteering is that I saw the work that volunteers did when I was a police officer. I saw the work that the SES did. I saw the work that volunteer fire brigades did. So when I retired, I considered volunteering that there was something I needed to do.
Yes, because you were a policeman for quite a few years?
32 years.
That all? Okay. And we're just saying here, you know, after so many years in the public service, you know, why do you want to do more of it, for goodness sake?
Oh, look, I feel there's a lot to gain from doing volunteer work. There's a sense of belonging in the community. You know, you can give something back to the community, and I get a lot out of volunteering with what I'm doing at the moment. You know, I can see that it's helping people. I get satisfaction out of it. It gets me out of the home, gets me away from the wife. I'm not at home, you know, 24/7.
I can see her going, oh, thank God.
My wife actually comes out and helps me when I do some volunteering.
That normally
as well,
happens as well, yeah. And Don, when you were in the police force, and I'll go back a little bit, you know, did you see the benefit of volunteers to the police force?
Oh, definitely. The police force relies on volunteer services. I've already mentioned the SES.
Yes.
The Volunteer Fire Brigade. There's VIPs, volunteering in policing. They come into the police stations and do a lot of the mundane work that police officers don't have time to do.
Oh.
They go around to the community groups and talk about policing, talk about community safety and things like that. So, you know, I saw the benefit of volunteers, but I also saw that they were getting a lot out of doing volunteer work, and they were passionate about what they were doing. And they weren't doing it for the monetary value, they were doing it because they had a passion for it and they wanted to help the community.
Yep, I know the feeling well, and I've always said you get twice as much out of it as you put in.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes, Don, it's you can vent as well, and you know you need to do that. Just you know, something gets you going. So you know you get that opportunity to do as well.
Exactly.
You know? And if you're at home thinking about growing old, it's not good fun.
Well, that's right, and I realised in retirement that you know, I had to do something. I remember the police chaplain saying to me, you know, what were your plans on retirement? And I said, look, I'm not really sure. And he said, there's 3 areas of your life you've got to look at. He said, your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. And he said, you know, find some volunteer work where you're helping people. And he said, you'll tick those 3 boxes. And
really
I have.
Easy.
I've found something that I can engage in those 3 areas. It's helped me, and I feel that it's also a benefit to the community.
It certainly is, Don. And look, you are a bit of a volunteer with Furniture Ministry.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, after speaking to Bronwyn Atwood at the Neighbourhood Centre, the Point Rivers Neighbourhood Centre, we were discussing what were the needs in the community, and Bronwyn told me about homeless people that have found accommodation, domestic violence, women that have been through domestic violence. They had to move out of their present accommodation and were moved into emergency accommodation. The big issue they had was these people didn't have furniture, they didn't have beds. They were financially unable to purchase this sort of furniture. So we set up a furniture ministry where we collect donated furniture from people that weren't needing items like beds or lounges and all that. So we collected it, and then we distribute to the people that are in need. We get referrals from the Neighbourhood Centre. They assess the people, and then they'll send the referral to us, and we'll go out and deliver whatever is needed, mainly along bedding or lounge suites or dining room suites and things like that.
Yeah, your basics.
The basic needs, so they can get back onto their feet. Obviously, especially homeless people, they haven't had an opportunity where they can collect furniture through the years, and when they do get on their feet and find accommodation, we're able to then distribute some furniture for them.
That's great. And sort of, would you liaise with Vinnie's and Lifeline and all those sort of people?
No, all our donations come from the community.
There you go.
And it's mainly through word of mouth. And, we're certainly getting a lot of calls of people that want to donate things because they realise that it is being used for people that actually need it.
Yeah, yeah.
So rather than, looking for somewhere to dump the furniture.
Exactly.
And most of the furniture is in good condition. They want to give it to someone.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
And they want to give it to someone that does need it. So we serve two purposes. We're collecting it from people that want to see it go to people that actually need it, and then we'll deliver it to those people that are in need.
So you put the help where it's needed most. Just looking here, what would you say to a listener who was thinking about volunteering? You know, how would they go about the next step, Don?
Oh, look, I'd encourage people to, if they have the opportunity or they have the time, to consider volunteering. Like I said, they'll get a lot out of it. There's a lot of advantages for them in doing volunteer work. There's a book that was launched yesterday by the Pine Rivers Neighbourhood Centre and the Moreton Bay Council. It's called Jump In.
Yeah,
it's volunteering in Moreton Bay, and it's a tremendous book. It's got all the volunteer agencies in here where you have opportunities to do volunteer service.
Okay.
It's got the name of the group and the contact details. So, and I'd encourage people to get a hold of this book. They can get it through the Neighbourhood Centre.
Okay.
Get a hold of it and go through it and just see
which one they think they'd fit in nicely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And so that was launched yesterday?
That was launched yesterday down at Petrie. The Mayor, Alan Sutherland, he officially launched the book. There was a lot of volunteers that were already doing volunteer work in the community there.
Yeah.
It was a lunchtime activity, and I'd encourage people to firstly get the book and see which area they can provide.
So if we're not down your way and you're down sort of Pine Rivers area, how can the Caboolture, Morayfield people, Bribie Island people, anyone listening, how can they get this book?
The book, there's online on the website, www.prnc.org.au.
All right, so it's on your website, is it?
Yeah, it's on their website, or you can call the Pine Rivers Neighbourhood Centre on 3205 9905.
All right. Because and I'm looking at it, listeners, it's a lovely little glossy little booklet. Fabulous.
And you can see
I'm
in the booklet...
interested to see how many people are in there. I want to know.
Well, that's right. I mean, you can see in the booklet there's a lot of areas in the Caboolture area as well that are after volunteers.
So perhaps they might be at the hub or somewhere here in Caboolture, do you think?
Yes. They're all over the area, that's right.
Yeah, okay. But, the little booklet, I mean, I don't know about a lot of our listeners, but I still don't mind holding that piece of paper in my hand. When you're searching for something on the internet, it's good fun. Yeah. But actually to read, it is good.
Well, the book was only launched yesterday, so
we'll give them a chance.
It'll get distributed throughout the Moreton Bay area, I'm sure. So.
Yeah. And just as a little bit of history on you, Don, whereabouts were you a policeman in your 35 years?
In my 35 years, I served both in the country and in the city. I served out at Winton, Maryborough, Cairo.
Yeah.
I then came back to Brisbane. I was in the Criminal Investigation Branch for several years. Yeah. Served in the Juvenile Aid Bureau, and I finished my career where I started at Petrie, Pine Rivers.
There you go.
So I did my training there back in 1980 and finished there about 18 months ago. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you've been out volunteering for the last 18 months or so.
Yeah, and loving it. And like
Absolutely.
I said, I just encourage people, if they have got the time, it's worthwhile. They'll be serving the community, they'll be doing something worthwhile, and they'll get a benefit out of it.
A big benefit. Yes, I know it well, Don. I do thank you for doing that in your retirement, because it certainly keeps the blood flowing in the right way, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else, Don, that I should be checking with you? Is there anything coming up that we should know about?
This is Volunteer Week, which is the government and local council are running various activities for Volunteer Week. So it's just a week where the volunteer organisations have the opportunity to get out there.
To be recognised as well.
Yeah. So,
No,
like I said, I just encourage people to seek out where they can perform some voluntary work in the community.
Absolutely, because there's a great need. There's a
word.
great need. Don Amos, thank you very much for coming in. Mark, thank you for bringing Don in to introduce him to us, and lovely to see you again. And I'm going to be looking out for that little glossy book with lovely big jump up or jump in written on it, yeah? So jump into volunteering, guys, and make this community a better place for all of us, hey?
Definitely.
And it's not just for the people you're helping, it makes the place better for everyone, doesn't it?
We need you.
We do so. We do.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate